People, the only reason why this channel exists is because I know exactly how it feels to have anxiety rip through your life. It can take away everything. Take away your confidence, take away your ability to work, it take away your ability to operate on the small tasks. It doesn't just come with one panic attack. Some people think that they're experts in this field. Some people think they know it all, that way. We live in this world whereby everyone's got an opinion. And I don't think many people experience the depths and the levels that it can take you. Especially when you're not that type of person that feels sorry for themselves. You're not the type of person who has so claimed that you've had anxiety all your life. You might have had a little bit of anxiety, you might have had a little showcase of it, but you haven't had it rip through your life, and you haven't gone through this deep spiral of each day it gets worse, and you can end up in a situation whereby you're confused because doctors can't give you answers. You don't want to be medicated. You don't want that. You don't want to go down that route. Psychiatrists are leaving you more confused. You go on Google and it's full of self-help forums where they want you to feel sorry for yourself. They're dangerous. Those forums can be dangerous. Now, some information is absolutely solid. Okay. I first got help through a book called It Lasts Your Life from Paul David. Right. That's why 6 years on, I've created my own version of my own book. I've got my own life. Everyone's got their own blueprint. I've got 3 kids. I know exactly how it feels to not have anxiety as well. I know exactly how it feels to have everything. The money, the cars, the business, the physique, the family, the wife, the relationships, everything. And then I also know how it feels to be lonely when anxiety is fucking absolutely kicking the shit out of you. And you've got symptoms on top of symptoms. It goes from one panic attack, leads into a day-to-day onslaught. Not over time, it's a slow process. It takes time for you to get into the depths of despair. It really does. And it comes from self-analysing. It comes from self-analysing in regards to what that first panic attack was, and you question everything about it. Your nervous system gets frayed. You get this built-up anxious energy that is stored because you don't, because we do everything. We do everything the opposite of what recovery means. Recovery means allowing everything to be there. And it's easier said than done, especially when you're on an anxious mind and you start believing that everything that your mind's telling you is true, that this is going to last forever. What if I go mental? What if I end up in a mental home? What if I need real one-to-one help? What if I don't see my kids again? What if I can't operate my business again? All these thoughts are normal. And today I'm going to speak about these thoughts because specifically it's probably one of the biggest scary worrisome, fear-driven symptom that you come across with anxiety. So that's what we're going to speak about today, thoughts specifically. So I've just mentioned a bunch of thoughts. So off my personal experience and through the guys that come through my program. So by the way, listen, I've wrote a book called Turbulence. It's a anxiety recovery book and how to build a life purpose. So everything's based around my own personal experience, my own personal story, and how I've dived into understanding this subject on a more of a deeper level. And then I've got a turbulence operating system, which is basically a one-to-one program for that man that I've just been speaking about, who has had everything, and now he finds himself in the depths of despair. So listen, if you want any of those things, you want the book, or you want to speak a little bit more deeper on that program, and don't hesitate to send me a message. But listen, thoughts in general, because like I say, none of my videos are edited, none of them are clipped. They might be put together, we might have a stop and start on them, just because, probably for the main reason that I need to give my arms a little break in between. So listen, let's list out a bunch of thoughts. Like, I would be interested to understand your thoughts in the comments. Now, it's likely that you probably won't comment, because the guys that come into my program they don't really comment on things. They get straight into action, they get straight into it. They basically send me a private message or book a call in one of my links on the socials, and it's all fucking done privately because they want to just basically get their life back right. But I'd be interested to know if anyone's been through this experience before, what your thoughts were. But the main common ones, right, I've got 3 kids, okay? So thoughts that will come cropping up for me is, what if I don't see my kids again? What if I end up in a mental hospital and I'll never get to see my kids again? What if my kids don't get to see me growing up? What if I were to die? What if I were to do the worst case scenario that other guys do, which is such a common fucking thing to do? What if I end up in that place? What if I don't ever recover? What if this is me forever? What if I fucking... What if I accidentally get a knife and it goes into my neck? All right, and that is fucking... I laugh and I snigger, because I speak about these openly now without no reaction, because that's exactly what it is, right? It is your body with a fried nervous system and a tired mind, where a thought comes in and you react to it because you've got a built up anxious energy inside of you and your nervous system's frayed, and you react to everything. You don't just react to these fucking worrisome, dark, weird, intrusive thoughts. You react to everything. I was reacting to people knocking on the door. I was reacting to a door opening. I'd be reacting to music being loud because my nervous system was that afraid. So is there any reason or any fucking surprise to why I wouldn't react to a dark, intrusive thought? Obviously, my mind would react to that more because it's attaching that thought and being the number one thing that I'm thinking about for that day. And do you know what? Do you know what the thoughts are right now for me? The thoughts are something that I now have no reaction to, because that's how anxiety works. That's how your recovery works. Your reaction to things become normal, like it used to be. Once you allow your nervous system to recover and your mind to have the space and the time it needs to get that recovery process in play. Now, when you go through this process, now everyone's got a different blueprint, everyone's got different thoughts, right? But the ballpark of it is very similar. It takes time to get there, and guess what? It takes time to fucking get back to recovery as well. If you do not allow patience, you will end up keeping yourself in the cycle, because you're expecting results to happen fast. You're expecting, if you were to listen to a YouTube video or you were to read a book about anxiety, that you are going to be anxiety free. That is impossible. It is literally impossible. Yes, you can take away the knowledge, and yes, you can get some short-term relief on it because you're now reading or listening to some information that makes sense. But ultimately, you need a period of time for recovery to happen. You need the anxious energy to be released. The only way that it gets released is if you allow everything to happen. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it don't feel good. In the early stages, you can potentially feel worse because you're allowing all the thoughts, all the feelings to come up to the fucking surface. But thoughts are just this. Thoughts are like anything that you think about. You can't control it. I get comments on my book, where I basically sell the book. I sell it on social media. Okay, so I basically pay to sell that book. I'm paying to try and get that book in front of people because I know that the problem is massive. So I'm getting that book in front of people. Don't make any money on it. If a little bit. The bigger message is they get the book and they recover and they pass the message on. So then there's actually recovery. There's recovery help out there, rather than you being fucking lost, confused and dazed on fucking forums and calls and where you're getting no help at all and you're just trying to dig into your past. So I get comments on that. And there's people that sort of know it all in this world right now, isn't there? And I get people sort of commenting saying, you have to understand how to control your mind. And that is, if anything, so backwards in regards to how you would approach this. You can't control a thought. You can't control a thought. It's impossible to control. The more you try to control a thought, the worse and stronger the fucking feelings get. You've experienced it, because that's the reason why you're watching this video, or you've downloaded my book, or you've booked a call. You're experiencing that now. So why would you carry on to do something that's not working when you're trying to control it? You can't control a thought. It's impossible. You allow the thoughts to flow. You let them come in, and a thought is just a thought, and that's all you see it as. And if it wants a reaction out of you, you then see it as just anxious energy trying to be released. Over time, that energy gets released, the reactions no longer happen. I genuinely, hand on heart, will tell you this, as I've been through this process twice. All right, I've been through this process twice, and you might think, what a fucking stupid fucking thing to do. And you know what? We grow and we mature. I went through this process at 20-year-old. I found the right information, and then at 29-year-old, I went through this process again. Guess what? I was running 3 businesses at the time. I had 3 kids at the time. I was getting up in the morning, doing something that I didn't really want to do anymore. And I was doing that for too long. Anxiety came round to say, hang on, dickhead, this isn't what you want to do, and this is not what the best approach is for you for the rest of your life. I genuinely believe that. And the untouchable me, who had the answers, had to go through this process again. Luckily, I was equipped with the right information. So if it ever happens again, I'm equipped with the right information. I know this is just a period of recovery. I now do cold water ice baths. I do breathing exercises every single day. I was already into exercise, running, strength training. I was already into eating well, and now I eat even better. I eat more specifically to focus on inflammation foods. So I make sure that I have a certain period of amount of food, or certain specific foods that I have on a day-to-day basis. I make sure that I don't do things that I don't want to do. I don't do pointless tasks. I don't do energy draining tasks. I don't hang around with energy draining people. I don't do social events. I don't drink. I've not drunk way over for 13, 14, 15 years. I ain't drunk since I was 20. You know, so these are the things that we build up now. And I'm not saying that's for everybody. I'm not condoning that you shouldn't drink or what have you. But there's a lifestyle out there that you are following that you potentially, anxiety's come around also. Along with the build-up of worry, along with the build-up of stress, along with everything. And the volcano has exploded. And the only way that you get out of it is allowing time, patience and knowledge for the recovery process to happen. So listen, before I go on any more of a tangent, that is it for me and thoughts. If you've got any questions, you want to listen to more, then go on the other YouTube videos, or go and follow us on Instagram, where you can potentially go and grab a book, or because that's what it's about. It's about knowledge, information, and basically building a life purpose. So I hope you're as well as can be. And the long and short of it is, recovery is out there with knowledge. It doesn't lie in a place whereby you are consuming yourself with all the information and you're doing fuck all about it. It doesn't consume yourself with sitting on your sofa fucking feeling sorry for yourself. That's not where recovery lies. Recovery lies from you going to take action and going to fucking walk towards all the fear. So listen, until the next video,